Hello. Don't know if I'm Pakistani. I know. Oh, that's just my face. Apparently I look sad. I'm writing at the moment, so I'm writing a D&D campaign. So I'm focusing on that whilst hanging out with you all in here. So I promise I'm not sad. I'm actually quite happy. Obviously I need to practice my happy face, but thanks Honey Eater for that. Thanks for the comment, I do appreciate it. And hello everybody else that's joining. It'd be super cool if you could help me by giving the live a like. That means it just goes out to more people and I'm not stuck in in like jail, like a low like jail, whatever. So if you could do that, that'd be absolutely awesome. Jack, hello, how are you? Been ages since I've seen you. Hello Finn, how's it going? Lovely to see you all here. I'm just hanging out. If you want to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, history, fantasy, LARP, cosplay, all those super nerdy things, throw it in the chat. Let's have a convo. And while you all are here, if you enjoy that kind of thing, please make sure to give the live a like just so it goes out to more people. Nux, hello everybody. Awesome, are you? I'm so glad to hear that. Hello everybody. I'm doing pretty good, thank you so much. It's actually super nice. I've got that same sweater, only a little bit darker. My grandma knitted me this sweater. Thank you, Finn. That's so nice of you. So I'm writing, hello from Texas. Hi Rick, how's it going, mate? I'm writing a D&D campaign. I've been working on this for ages, and then I've kind of fallen to the background because I've prioritized other bits of my content. But essentially the concept is Pirates of the Caribbean meets Jurassic Park. Thank you for the likes, really appreciate that. That's very kind of you, whoever gave me a like. Oh, more people, in fact, amazing. Oh my god, this is brilliant. Yeah, thank you for that, guys. Yeah, so the premise is hello from India. Hello, buddy. Hello from the UK. So yeah, what I wanted to do, I wanted to build a pirate campaign. It's Tuesday. It's actually Saturday, I'll have you know. But yeah, tell you about the armor. I'd love to. So I like cosplay and I like D&D. So I use, oh, thank you so much, Stink. Appreciate that. Yeah, so I finally set this room up as a bit of a streaming room for myself. But yeah, so I like D&D, and I do like D&D skits and stuff. I post them on YouTube, I post them on TikTok and Instagram, so if you want to follow me on them, that'd be absolutely cool. But the story behind it, I've just slowly built them up. So this one here, I mean, all this armor is basically is a breastplate with a gamerson, which is like a padded armor. But yeah, so basically that's what's happened. I've just slowly kind of built them up more and more and more so. And yeah, it's I enjoy it. Yes, it's real, it's metal. But yeah, really enjoy kind of making D&D skits and stuff like that. I'm from the UK, if you hadn't guessed. I'm a big fan of history. I don't think I call myself a historian. I'm not like qualified in that sense, but I love history, and I love the intersection of history and fantasy and the incredible stories we tell each other. And if you want to learn more about that kind of stuff that I do, please make sure to give my channel a follow, and you'll see what kind of thing I get into. I make a lot of history and fantasy content, but also stuff about about all sorts really, and about history and fantasy. Is it heavy? It's not that. I mean, it's just a breastplate, so it's not like a full suit of armor. Is obviously heavier than like a LARP kind of foam stuff. But yeah, so it's awesome. Yeah, really do enjoy it. I'd like to build more and more upon that, but we'll just see how we go. Thank you guys for all the comments there. Is it legal to have armor? It is definitely legal to have armor. It's just certain weaponry is obviously dubious, shall we say. so for instance, like I don't walk around in the middle of the city with my sword because it's just asking for trouble. You don't need it. You don't need it. Thank you so much, S2K World Gaming. That's very, very kind of you. And thank you for the help and all of that. But yeah, like I said, if you've got any questions, guys, about history, fantasy, tabletop role-playing games, D&D, all those kind of things, make sure to throw it in the chat and we can have a convo about it. If you play D&D, tell me about your D&D campaigns. And also, if you're enjoying the live, please, I'd super appreciate it if you could give the live a like double tap or whatever, just so it can go out to more people. That'd be awesome. It's nice to be nice. It is. Thank you so much. Lovely. Hey, I don't mind. If people are commenting, then it means that this live gets thrown out to more people, which is fun. Love King Arthur. It's incredible. Those stories that resonate with us because they talk to a certain aspect of ourselves. The reason why I like, for instance, playing paladins is because they're an embodiment of like righteousness, and like a lot of the time they're like the classic kind of like noble knight, if you know what I mean. And I really, really enjoy that. Oh no, it's definitely not handmade. I've collected these pieces of like costume just by slowly bringing things together. I have 2 swords, but they're downstairs, so I'm not going to show them because if I just disappear, then no one's going to be in the live anymore. But I'll bring them up for future reference just so I can show you. If you make sure to stick around, then if you give us a follow, then we will definitely do it at some point. Are they expensive? I mean, they are more expensive than toys. Matthew, my grandma knitted me this, that's why I like it. Do you go LARPing? I have been to a LARP. I'd like to go to more LARPs. I enjoy them so much. They are the complete embodiment of the kind of thing I enjoy, which is inhabiting like fantasy and historical spaces, which is what my content on my channel is all about. So if you enjoy LARP, you should enjoy the kind of thing I create. But yeah, they are. I mean, they're not like dangerous. They're blunt, so it should be quite safe. But as long as you're not a snitch, then we should be fine. So don't snitch on me. How about that? Don't want to get a strike. That's fair. Know how much cable? Yeah, that's why I treasure this so much. It's a very, very cool jumper. My name's Elle. Hi, Jackson. I'm from the UK too. Do you play D&D live? I would like to. This is the thing with playing D&D live, right? I would love to have them on my. I'd love to do that on my channel, but it takes having dedicated people to manage the live stream, and if I am doing that whilst DMing, it makes my DMing less good because I'm also being like a tech person. So I would have to find somebody that is comfortable and confident running the whole live section of it, which is what I don't want to do. So what I'd like to do instead is record D&D games online, like play D&D games online, but record them and then upload them as a video so people can watch them rather than live stream them. But that's the goal, basically, is sooner or later doing that. But it's funny you mention that because I am working on the campaign that I'd love to show you guys at some point or other. So the campaign that I'm working on is called the Azure Archipelago. It's about a collection of islands that have recently been discovered. And yeah, essentially, it will be a very fantastical, exciting kind of island hopping adventure, kind of Pirates of the Caribbean, but also there are giant lizard dinosaur creatures. So basically, Pirates of the Caribbean meets Jurassic Park. And so hopefully we'll get some exciting content from that sooner or later. But yeah, thank you for letting me know the difficulty things about. Convert me to a religion. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing, Slim Richmond. I'm kind of like, I'm being chill about it now, and then sooner or later I'll ask you to join the cult. But like the thing is, if you're going to be a good cult leader, you don't like load the cult on heavy at the beginning. You kind of, you develop a relationship. So that's what I'm doing, is just trying to be as charming as I can. And then we'll see where we go. Yes, that's right. Yeah. Everest, did I say cult? I don't think I did. No, I think that's something that you need to you give them a special Kool-Aid. Yeah. Can I see how? Not on here. Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm definitely not. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not trying to start a cult, but having a few more followers would be nice. But that's at your own discretion. I'm not going to ask you. You can decide if you want to see more of my content. But yeah, like I was saying, guys, if you're enjoying the live, please make sure to give it a like so it goes out to more people. I'd really appreciate that. It'd be very kind if you can just give me that little double tap. Thank you for all the comments, and it's really nice speaking to everybody. I do appreciate this. If you have any questions about like history, fantasy, D&D, there we go. Like, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Waiting for your assignment, King. We'll see. But yeah, I'm a big old nerd into like history and fantasy. So yeah, if you've got any questions about that, do let me know. But like I said, I'm trying to focus on what I try to do is I try to do some creative work at the same time as doing this. And then, you are an absolute legend, Slim Richmond. Thank you so much for that. And now you've subbed, hopefully we'll be able to hang out again at some point or other. Greetings from Bali. I have recently just got back from Bali. It's a lovely place. I like it a lot. Callum, you're an absolute legend for that. Thank you so much. And guys, thank you for all the comments. It means that this live goes out to more people because YouTube just thinks that I'm super popular and interesting, which I'm definitely trying to be. I don't know if I am, but I'm definitely trying to be. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate that. Cool armors. Thank you so much. So this is just a breastplate, and then this is the a gamersome, which is basically a padded jacket. A for effort. That's very kind of you to say so. So I mean, it's not much of an armor set. I see people on TikTok in full suits of armor all the time, and it makes me very jealous. M Vito, hello from the UK. Lovely to have you on the live, my friend. But yeah, so it's not of the. That's incredible. Thank you so much. I do have a kind of Mandalorian helmet. It's downstairs, so I need to get it. You're jealous of furries. I don't think I am. Thank you. Oh, that's very kind of you. But yeah, I'm just trying to just like get people more into like the fantasy and history hobby and like D&D, because D&D is possibly one of the most creative outputs I've ever had the opportunity to do. It fulfills me in so many different ways. The best thing about D&D, guys, right? It's like joining a football club or something, or like having like a gym buddy. Because people feel obligated to continue hanging out with you every single week. So if you have friends, but you don't hang out together enough, like you need to do more. You need more instigating things. Having a D&D session is easily the best thing to make sure you hang out with your friends so often. Lovely. Have you ever ventured into blacksmithing? I would love to try it. I don't have an out. I live in a flat, so I don't have like anywhere to do it myself. But I'd love to go and like try some. That's definitely an idea for a future video sooner or later. 100%. Thank you for the likes. That's so kind of you. Absolute legends. Yeah, genuinely guys, thank you for the support. I really like, and more likes. Oh my god, that's so kind of you. I really appreciate the help and like the follows, and someone just said they turned notifications on for my videos. That's so nice of you. I'm trying to like basically make videos about D&D and history and fantasy. So I do a lot of like folklore and history videos, but I also do videos about like historical adventures, so epic adventures that happened in the past. Highly recommended, but dirty work. The same theme though. No. Wow, that is incredible. So interesting. There is a steam engine route. Jackson, I remember Jackson. I can remember us talking a little while back. It has been ages since I've been on live, so I apologise for that, but it's lovely to see you again. And Alistair, are you from the UK, Alistair? I shouldn't dox myself, but like I live near where a steam train travels a lot. So yeah, I kind of grew up near that, so that's quite exciting. It's just lovely to see that living history. I think that's so exciting to see the past, and to know people to know that those skills are still used today. So thank you for that. Yeah. Wow, incredible. Big up the UK. Certainly. But thank you everybody for the likes and follows. That's very kind of you. Do appreciate it very much so. I'm really proud of this live. 19 likes. I've been on for 19 minutes. Bro's got alarm raisers equipment. I wish that I could show you my other weapon. I've got some weaponry and a helmet downstairs, but if I leave, then people are going to get bored because it'll just be me sat. Well, so it'll be nothing, and you'll be watching a chair. So next time I'll make sure to bring that upstairs so you can actually see. Gatsker, I don't know what you're saying. Am I tired of talking? Well, the thing is, if I don't talk, it'll be a pretty boring live because you guys can message, but if I'm ignoring you, then I'm not fulfilling my obligation. Do you have a bow and arrows in the UK? I do actually. I'll show you. I do actually have that. These are. So if you guys know anything about LARP, this is a LARP safe bow and arrow. So it is not very powerful. It says there. The power is like 15 pounds, so it's not powerful at all. But this is the thing, yeah, it's not designed for, you can get bows and arrows in the UK. It is legal to, like, I'm not sure if it's legal to hunt with them anymore, but yeah, the idea is this is safe enough to fire at somebody and it'd be okay with this. So yeah, and it's a lot of fun. I recently, so it was about this time last year, I went to my first LARP and I took this, and it was a Lord of the Rings inspired LARP, and I was a ranger. I was wearing this kind of outfit here, so I was supposed to be like a like a Gondorian ranger, and I had this, and I was just hitting, the enemy were all orcs, and so they had like orc masks on and stuff like that, and I was just flinging arrows at orcs in the woods, and it was one of the most awesome experiences I've ever had. Let's see if I can fire this backwards. There we go. Anyway, so that's my bow. It was roleplay. How many orcs did I kill? I lost count, mate. That's how good I was. I don't know. Not many. It was an awesome experience though, and I'm so glad I did it. And I would like to. The goal basically is to build up my followers on this, so eventually I can make content about going to historical places, so like incredible ancient castles we have in the UK, but also doing fantasy experiences as well, like LARPs, and making little videos about that for you all. Do I have a favourite video game? Good question. What video games do I like? You know what's weird? I think it's because since watching Andor, I started playing Battlefield 2 again, and I love Battlefront. Sorry, Battlefront 2. So really enjoyed playing Star Wars. I do incredible. Yeah, I've seen a lot of like World War II reenactments. I've always been very interested in that too, but I haven't pursued that as much. But I'd love to go to like historic places and essentially make videos. So that's the goal. So a lot of the time I've been spending, a lot of my free time recently has been basically writing a business plan, and with that hopefully I can get some better equipment to make content about history and fantasy, because hi Timothy, how's it going? Edinburgh Castle is, Edinburgh Castle is an incredible castle. I haven't been to Edinburgh in years, but it is incredible, and it's just so magical when you go to these places, because obviously they're cared for now. My costume's maybe like a mannequin to hold it up for me. That one is, there is a mannequin under there. I've never been to Dover Castle, no. I bet it's impressive though. But that's the lovely thing, is that I grew up going to those things. So when I was a kid, like my mum would take me there rather than going on like foreign holidays. And that's kind of, I would not change my childhood for anything, because I spent it as a kid running around these incredible historic sites with a wooden sword fighting invisible enemies. Pretty brilliant. And I still do that to this day, basically. Except my foam is now, my sword is now LARP safe. But yes, where was I? What was I doing? Doing this 3, that can go there. But yeah, sorry to repeat myself at all. Do I have any scary objects? I don't have any. Do you mean like, I think they call them like curiosities, don't they? I don't have anything else like that. I don't have anything cursed at the moment. I would like to collect stuff like that. I've got to be very specific about the kind of the things that I collect, and at the moment, everything that I spend my money on is to do with this channel that I've got, Grey Wolf Adventuring. Is this Harry Potter? No, I'm not. I'm Elliot. Nice to meet you anyway. But yeah, so that's my goal basically, is to anything I've got free, I'd love to. Thank you very. No, I appreciate the comments anyway. Any comments and likes you guys can give me is absolutely incredible, because it means that this live gets shown to more people, which means that hopefully I can grow my following, which is the goal ultimately, to be able to have a big enough following so I can go to different historical and fantasy events. And yeah, Harry Potter, you're not Harry Potter. But yeah, that's the goal. So if you like history, fantasy, all those kind of nerdy things, do make sure to have a look at my channel. Awesome breastplates, thank you so much. And correct, yes, correct deduction. Hello, Truckee, nice to see you here, my friend. Can you recommend a place that I can take my family in the UK? Well, it depends where you're flying in from. London is built for tourists, and there are so many incredible experiences and historical sites that are just waiting for you around London. I'm 34. I'm from the UK. My favourite collectible. What things do I have that I really, really enjoy? So I also collect, if you know anything about D&D, you know that we use miniatures. So I've got all these kind of like random little models that I use. These aren't painted, so I'm showing you the worst. I'm showing you half painted models, which is not helpful. But yeah, so we use these on the tabletop, and they obviously represent the kind of creatures you're fighting. And I enjoy painting those too. So sometimes I do miniature painting streams, so like this, but I'm trying to paint. Premium English. Does that mean that I speak like unbelievably? Oh, you watch my show all the time. Thank you so much. That's incredible. Outlaw katanas under the ninja sword. Yes, I know. What LARPs do you do, if any? I have been to Warriors of Middle-earth LARP, which is a Lord of the Rings inspired LARP that is made in Scotland. Is that a British World War II British uniform? That one? No, it's there's a gamerson, and it's more medieval. But again, it's really like anachronistic. Basically, these are for LARPs and for these are cosplay uniforms. So they're not historically accurate, but they look vaguely historical. I'm from the UK, if you could believe. But yeah, so that's the goal, basically, to kind of make content around that. So if you follow me, if you look at any of my shorts, you'll see that I make loads of content in this, basically, taking the piss out of is absolute Ocean Gate Engineer. It is absolutely awesome. I have a video about me, about my experience there. So if you go on my channel, you should be able to find it quite easily. And that is, it's a pretty succinct video that I'm quite happy with. It got over 1,000 views, which is pretty good for like my side of my caliber of channel, I suppose. Thank you very much. I'm from England. Oh my god, Ocean Gate for Engineer for Hire. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate the subscription. That is very, very kind of you, my friend. Don't know what's going on today. We'll share your channel with my friends. You are a legend. I'm really looking forward to us hanging out again very, very soon. Yeah, and let me know what you think about the video as well. So the goal basically is to do more LARPs. So go to Empire, which is the UK's biggest LARP, I'm pretty sure, and and explore others around the world. But that's the goal, to go to different LARPs, because I like history and fantasy, and I like the intersection of that. So I'd like to go to more like living history events where they show different battles and incredible experiences like that, and film that and make content about that to inspire people that enjoy history and fantasy. But also I'd like to go to fantasy inspired things, so like go to different LARPs and different experiences like that and see where we go. Hi Vanessa, how you doing? But yeah, that's the goal, basically, is to create content that is around the intersection of history and fantasy, and see where we go from there, really. Hello. Rings of Power. Okay, this is the thing with Rings of Power. Was it let down? I'm really not sure what to think about Rings of Power, because I'm happy to have any kind of fantasy content. Everest, you are a legend. Thank you so much for subscribing. That's very, very kind of you. I really appreciate it. I would like to relive medieval history from a third-person viewpoint, or rather... Geek Secret Affair. Best thing you can do is go to a Living History event or experience a LARP. Red Samurai. Oh my god, you've subbed. Thank you so much. That's very, very kind of you. Truckee, I'm from the northeast of England. Yorkshire, if you know where that is. Yeah, Game of Thrones is a wicked show. But this is the thing, like, I loved Game of Thrones. I love, like I said, the intersection of history and fantasy. That's why I like Lord of the Rings. And so, Rings of Power, I'm excited to see any kind of content like that. Any kind of Hi from Lithuania. Hello. Any kind of fantasy TV shows, all these kind of things. I'm generally excited to experience because I like living in that kind of space. But was it let down by? What was it let down by? This is the thing. I think I enjoyed it. There we go. Simple as that. I did enjoy watching it. Obviously, there were like certain little elements where there was like, I think there was like one where a guy was just fighting himself or something. Someone's been behind that door. Sure they are. But yeah, that's like, I just enjoyed like looking and enjoying the history and fantasy space of Rings of Power. Where did I buy that sweater? I didn't buy this sweater. My grandma knitted it for me, and I'm wearing it on the live because people say it's a nice jumper, and so I get comments like that, and it helps me in the algorithm. You're from the United Kingdom because you're British. Do you like Robinson Crusoe? So interesting you mentioned Robinson Crusoe. So the D&D campaign that I'm writing at the moment that I'd like to eventually publish for other people to play, it is heavily inspired by Robinson Crusoe. The idea I have is that I want to make a collection of islands, almost like the Caribbean or maybe like the Philippines or Indonesia. And the idea is you explore these islands. Sorry, Red Samurai, what was your question? I promise I will respond to it. Doctor Who going to the vault after his season. I don't know that. I haven't seen Doctor Who. I don't know. Anyway, not talking about Doctor Who. Basically, what I'm trying to say is I'm making a D&D campaign heavily inspired by Robinson Crusoe and all those kind of incredible adventures. Red Sam, what question did you ask? You're from the United Kingdom because you're British. How does that work? I mean, I'm simultaneously English, a Yorkshireman, British. Yeah, the United Kingdom is a country that is in the British Isles. Thank you very much for the compliment on the armor. So I'd love to add more to that. I get very, very jealous when I see people on TikTok with full suits of armor, and I generally make kind of like cosplays and content around that. Do I know any Lancashire history? Not the only Lancashire history I know is they beat us in the War of the Roses. I'm pretty sure. What's your favorite D&D class? Mine's cleric. Okay. Ocean Gate. We're getting to the questions now. Thank you so much for that. One of a kind. I've missed it. Send me another question. I promise I'll respond to that. What's your favorite D&D class? Mine is, I like Paladin. I enjoy Paladin because, thank you so much for the Red Samurai. I really appreciate that. I like playing Paladin because I like the idea of like righteousness, and I also like somebody that is charismatic to play, yet simultaneously is a frontline fighter. I like slashing around in combat. As you can tell, I've got a bloody suit of armor. Yeah, I like playing Paladin, basically. Thank you for all the lights, guys. That's very, very kind of you. And I also like playing Bard. A lot of my content is pretty much based around like a Paladin Bard D&D party dynamic. Yeah, they're so much fun. I don't speak any other languages apart from English. Because I speak English, I've never had the necessity to learn any other languages. Absolutely terrible, I know. Drops the glove. We can have a duel if you want. Thank you. You like my glasses. That's very, very kind of you. I do appreciate that. As an Englishman with these glasses, of course, I'm giving off a bit of a Harry Potter vibe. But that's you know, that is the cross that I have to bear as being English and having to wear glasses. Atticus, it's crazy you mentioned that. Not only do I love terror, so part of my like content, what I do is I make videos about famous historical adventures, so I can inspire people that are into history and fantasy that might find it interesting. I've written a script about the expedition of Terror and Erebus, and I'm going to be making that video over the next few weeks. So it's going to be a deep dive into the history of that and what's all occurred, which I really, I love that series. I love historical adventuring, and that is that's basically one of my core like content pillars, if you want to call it that. I make content around history and mythological folkloric creatures like fairies and werewolves and giants and all that kind of stuff, because that's kind of related to fantasy. I also make videos and YouTube series about historical adventuring. So I've done one about the mutiny of the Bounty, which is a very famous mutiny during the 1700s. The very kind of like which is about people surviving a massive ship voyage. Historically, was that actually a monster for terror? I mean, it depends. It depends. If you are going insane by lead poisoning and isolation, and then all of a sudden a polar bear fancies his chances, is that a monster? I think it is. And this is the point, is that all these folkloric creatures, they come from real historical inspiration. They didn't just happen. Somebody didn't just think them up and just do and like decide. These creatures live in our imaginations because there was something that originally birthed them into our communities, if you know what I mean. So, for instance, a werewolf. What is a werewolf? Well, it's a big scary wolf, obviously, but the point is, people will build up stories and folklore about this creature, because the idea of a wolf terrifying people is just, people want to lean into the fantasy because that actually comforts them. A lot of werewolf stories, a lot of vampire stories as well. The reason why these have come about is because people have done horrific things to other people, and the idea of a person doing that is terrifying, and so therefore we lie to ourselves and we make these folkloric creatures up. So then the idea of this, it's not a person doing this, it's a twisted evil creature that happens to sometimes be in human form and happens to be in other forms as well. So that's why folklore and that's why history and fantasy is so fascinating, because it's the stories that we tell ourselves to comfort ourselves in our own communities and our own societies. Well, you took me in for a short rest. I would love to, as long as that's okay. Consent is obviously the true necessity there, as long as you want to. I've got my Twitch watching you. There's, what the hell, 3,000. The poll question is, do you play Xbox or PlayStation? I have a PlayStation 4. I would love to upgrade. What I would love to do is play playing a Baldur's Gate on my computer, but I have a MacBook, and so I know for a fact that if I tried to play Baldur's Gate on my MacBook, it would turn into I'd be able to fry an egg on it, basically. So I'd love to do that. I love the vibe of this live, and you look like Harry Potter. No mean way. I love the Harry Potter series. You're like someone who reads a lot. If you do, what's my favourite book? Okay, the book I'm reading at the moment is probably one. Bloombird, thank you so much for the subscription. I really like that. Thank you for all the likes, guys. That's so kind of you. And I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, Bloombird. Ella, thank you for that question. My favourite book at the moment is the book I'm reading. It's called The 7 Pillars of Wisdom. Long story short, there was a bloke during World War One. He was an English adventurer, and Trollagate. He was an English archaeologist and adventurer, kind of inspired Indiana Jones in a lot of ways. And his name was T.E. Lawrence, and he eventually became known as Lawrence of Arabia. Basically, he was a secret agent, he was a spy during World War One, and he worked with, well, this thing, obviously being an Englishman in World War One, they were very, very xenophobic and very racist. Of course they were, because it was, you know, the beginning of the 19th century. So they looked down upon the Arab people that were being oppressed by the Turks. This is all happening during World War One, if I haven't already mentioned. But yeah, and then basically he worked with the Arab people to free them from the Ottoman oppression. So he helped give the Arab people the Middle East back, and from his actions we are where we are today. So it's an incredible story. T.E. Lawrence, Lawrence of Arabia, the 7 Pillars of Wisdom. If you want to learn about the most incredible adventure, he is the person to look at, and I would like to do a historical adventuring series on him sooner or later, but it just depends. And I've tried to start doing content arcs, so to tell his story we have to tell the story of people that came before him, so it'll be a very, very, very long series, which I can't wait to do and I can't wait to show you. But if you give me a subscribe, I don't know if you said you've already subscribed, I think you had. If you give me a subscribe, then you might see that coming sooner or later, but that'd be super cool, and I'd be very, very excited to make that for you all. I just finished the first Mistborn novel. I thoroughly enjoyed it. A really great fantasy read. The magical system is awesome, fascinating. I have heard a lot about Mistborn and about that series. I'd be really, really curious to know more about that. I will have to read them at some point or other. What's your YouTube content historically based? So my YouTube content is based in the intersection of history and fantasy. So my goal for anybody that watches my content is essentially to inspire you to create your own fantasy worlds, or to enjoy the incredible historical worlds that seem almost fantastical to us. So I've made a lot of content around folkloric creatures and like the psychology and the anthropology of how they come around. I've also made a lot of like D&D and creative writing advice to help you get started in that kind of stuff. I just subscribe. Thanks for the answer, Ella. That is so kind of you. I'm looking forward to seeing you around soon. But yeah, so that's the kind of goal for me, really. And then I've made videos about me going to LARPs. I'd like to make my videos about kind of going to more like living history events. Basically, I just want to be able to bring history and fantasy to life in interesting and clever ways. And that's the goal, basically, is to do that, because that's what I love doing. I've already said, if you've been following the live for a while, I've already said this, but like I grew up in the UK, and we have these incredible ancient structures and castles and buildings still you know, living around us. Every single big town in the UK has a castle. And you can walk around this place and know it's stood there for hundreds, if not even like 1,000 years. And so that's just incredible. And it makes me feel so, yeah, it makes me feel, it's so exciting to walk through these hallways and know what's happening. How do you learn about this kind of talking? How do you learn this type of talking skill? As in, not just me just chatting this rubbish now. Be passionate about something. And if you go live a few times, you get used to it. I'm not even really thinking at the moment, to be honest. It's just kind of like, it's just verbal nonsense, but it seems to be vaguely interesting to some people. But if you are passionate about something, you will find a small group of people that are also passionate about it, and you can enjoy it together. That's the main point. Positivity. You've got to be positive as well. Simple as that. Because the alternative is what? You do things that you're not passionate about because they may appease other people, or you try and fit into a crowd that is more popular or is more kind of like, you know, whatever. It's authenticity. You've got to be like be your authentic self and double, triple, quadruple down on that, and just be the truest version of yourself you can be, and enjoy the things you actually enjoy. Have you ever thought about Twitch streaming? Sorry, I went on a complete tangent there, but I hope that, have you thought about Twitch streaming? Fancy gameplay is entertaining, and you have a good knowledge of history. The thing is with Twitch, right? That's just a whole other platform that I would then have to manage, and yeah. So it's just like a whole other thing that I'd have to do, and I mean, this is the thing. It would be good in the sense of that I want to live stream D&D games, and I'd like to go live and do other things. But really, you know, that would just be a whole other platform that I would then have to manage and kind of like and spend time doing. So I go live on YouTube, I go live on TikTok. I haven't gone live on Instagram, don't really see the need to. So primarily, saying that, even going live on TikTok, I'm debating whether that's even worthwhile, because I'd rather go live on here, because this is where I should be building a big following, simply because of what happens with with monetization and stuff. Basically, the more people that watch my lives, that gets me close to monetization. If I get close to monetization, that means that I can then invest that money back into creating content for you all, which is the goal. Ultimately, I want to make incredible fantasy and history content and make that at a decent caliber. At the moment, I'm recording and filming everything on my phone, and so I've just hit a kind of a glass ceiling with that. And so I'd love to make better content, but I do that by investing in cameras and things like that. But I would love to go live on Twitch, but like I said, that would basically be me starting a whole other platform completely fresh. But we'll see what the crack is with that. Videos are helpful too. Positive words create positive energy. Yeah, and productive actions. Exactly. And this is the thing, like, being productive, as long as it's like it's inert, as in like, sorry, that's the wrong word. As long as it's for your own benefit, then that's incredible. I think we have a very, very interesting relationship with productivity, because we are productive from 9 till 5, Monday to Friday. That's when we have to be productive because we need to earn a living. But being productive for yourself, for like your core creativity and your your passions, those are the things when like that's the truest version of yourself, and I think that's the most special thing. It's so interesting because when I was younger, obviously, we all used to play make-believe, didn't we? Like we would go out and do whatever kind of crazy thing we could do, and it got to a point where obviously I grew up and I realized I couldn't really be doing that. And the reason I did that is because of like societal pressures, because I was like, no one's ever gonna want to hang out with me if I'm bloody playing make-believe. But yet at the same time, actors are arguably the biggest celebrities we have on the planet, and all they do every day is play make-believe. So it's this weird thing where you're not allowed to do that because it's like inherently childish, but yet the people we idolize most in our societies do that constantly. And so I think it's fascinating that we have this weird relationship with make-believe, or with being creative with ourselves. I think unless always put exactly emotional needs first. Now that's something that I have learnt too over a long period of time, and I'm so glad I do that now, because the alternative is not good. I mean, it's not helpful, is it? What do I do to a day-to-day job? I how much can I say? I like manage projects, but I've for a company that I've signed an NDA for, so I can't talk about it. If that's okay. Some people take it too far though. Cough, cough, furries. Honestly, man, like, this is the thing, right? As long as you don't hurt anybody, like what my therapist said, if it's free and it doesn't hurt anybody and it helps you, then it's okay. I don't think being a furry, I think fursuits are like thousands of pounds, aren't they, or whatever, so it's definitely not free. But like, this is the thing, I've in a way, I have more respect for people getting into an unbelievably niche and like belittled, like bullied hobby. I'd rather you do that than do something that is so stereotypical and requires no thought and effort. You know, I'm not going to mention hobbies like that because I don't want to insult anybody. But like, I have more respect for somebody living, being like having been prejudiced and living authentically than just picking and like only being involved in hobbies that suits like mass appeal. You know, it's the same thing with like comic books and Marvel. Like if you had said if somebody said, oh, I was into comic books like 20 years ago, they would have been bullied. But nowadays, Marvel is so big that it's a given that people are into it nowadays, or like people enjoy it. And so it's this ridiculous kind of like circular kind of logic where things become popular in a niche hobby. Same thing with Dungeons and Dragons. 20 years ago, if you said you were into Dungeons and Dragons or Warhammer, if you said you were into Warhammer 20 years ago, people would have thought you were a loser and a nerd. But then, would you believe it? Nowadays, Warhammer brings more money into the UK economy than fishing, than all of our fishing. It's insane. People are talking to me. Mas Nagano, also a caregiver for the elderly. I specialise in Alzheimer's. Fascinating. That's very, very giving of you. But yes, what was I saying? Yeah, I just find that very, very fascinating. It's like nerd culture. It's like anything niche. Eventually, it boils up to the point of where it becomes like common. You know, it becomes part of the bigger culture, and that's just that seems to be how it works. But it's lovely as well because it's nice to see people that have invested in this hobby all of a sudden be able to like get a massive following from it. You know, like Warhammer now is absolutely massive. All around the world, people are playing Warhammer, and it means that people that have been enjoying this hobby, you know, for 40 years, or even when it like came out in the 70s. Same with D&D. Like these incredible hobbies and the experiences you have with them. It's brilliant to know that now people can make content about that and make a career from it. Absolutely awesome. Loving it. Hi Trippy, love to see you, my friend. But yes, on that note, if there are new people in the chat, hello, how you doing? Welcome to the live. My name's Elle. I make content about history and fantasy and like LARP, cosplay, D&D, all those kind of nerdy things. So if you enjoy that, please make sure to give it a follow. Thank you for the likes, really appreciate that. Greetings, Death Eater. Hello, how you doing? Mr. Gritzy, get laid much? I don't think I can talk about that. This is supposed to be like that armor on the wall is badass. Thank you so much. I've said it before. I'd love to invest in more, but it's also at the same time. Basically, I make a lot of like D&D and like fantasy skits. So like all my shorts are pretty much about D&D and about that kind of thing. My HP is low, please. I'll give you some cure wounds. How about that? What do I know about hockey? Not a lot, unfortunately. Dill, thank you so much for the sub. That is so kind of you. I really, really appreciate that. But yeah, so yeah, pretty much all of my shorts are about history and fans. What is D&D? D&D is Dungeons and Dragons. Basically, it's a tabletop role-playing game. So tabletop like Warhammer 40k or like Age of Sigmar, if you know about that. You've probably seen photos or videos at any point of people pushing little figures, like wargaming as well, pushing little figures around a tabletop. and all the all the scenery that goes along with that. So D&D is a tabletop role-playing game. So basically you play it on a tabletop, but also you play a character like you're acting, but it's improvised. You have somebody who you call a dungeon master or a games master. They run a game like this. So basically they read through this and they tell you what's happening. They describe a scene to you, and you have a character and you explore an incredible world. So that could be on the fringes of the North Pole, almost like this, or it could be in the middle of a savannah or a desert or anything. And you have to use the skills you have on your character sheet to be able to navigate through this incredible world. And you do that with an adventuring party. So you have 2 or 3 people with you, and together you work as a team to eventually kind of, usually it ends with defeating a big evil bad guy, like any kind of like Marvel film or any kind of fantasy film that you know. Pretty much that's what it is. You have the luxury of playing your own fantasy or like Marvel-esque kind of like fantasy film or history film, and it's an incredible experience. And I would definitely let's look to your channel. I'm a new DM. This is Dill, absolute legend. Thank you so much for that. You're a legend for that. Do stick around, and hopefully my channel inspires you. That'd be really, really good. I played D&D in 83, 84 and 85, old school. Wow, incredible. That's so cool. Donald, you're absolutely, well done there. That was a decent comment. I used to play chess. I love, honestly, I've got a couple of chess boards downstairs. That's the kind of thing that kind of started getting into it as well, because essentially you are playing chess. You have certain restrictions and certain things you can do. It's essentially like playing, like, what do they call it? 3D chess, 5D chess, whatever. But yeah, like you said, you have different statistics and different ways you can play it. So you can play as like a frontline fighter, like your classic kind of warrior, in one way or other, or you can be a magic wielder where you can fling spells. And the great thing is, if you have a good dungeon master or a good games master, you can adapt these the rules into different situations. So for instance, you could actually play in a Star Wars campaign where you are running around a galaxy far, far away, or you could play a low magic campaign where it's almost set in like a medieval kind of environment where magic doesn't exist. And that is the incredible experience you get to have. And the best thing is, and I've said this before, it's like joining a five-a-side football team or having a gym buddy. If you don't have the same kind of obligations to, if you want to hang out with your friends more, but you don't want to always just go down to the pub. You want to enjoy each other's company in a different way. And so doing D&D is the perfect thing for that, because it means that you can you have the obligation of hanging out every single week, like a good obligation. You want to continue this story together, and you don't want to miss out on it. And so that's the goal, really. Is Jay, hi, how's it going? But yeah, so that's why I like D&D, because it is every single week at a certain time on a certain day, you're going to sit down and you're going to hang out with your friends for hours, and you're going to have you can do bits, you can joke with each other and enjoy a story together, and then at the end of it, it feels almost as real life, because it's lived in your imagination. When somebody explains a scene to you and there's like a battle going on, you immediately envision that, and it's almost like a dream that you can remember so well. Jackson, if you have Discord, if you go onto my YouTube channel, there should be a link to my Discord server. If you want to join that, I'll be running some games sooner or later, and I would love to show you the ropes. That'd be awesome. Head to the beach. Incredible. I live in Santiago, Chile. Wow, incredible. That sounds lovely. Donald, enjoy yourself, my friend. Hell of a time. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you around sooner or later. Have I played Team Fortress 2? I have not. D&D parties, kind of like D&D parties, but all dudes only. I mean, I certainly hope not. Maybe the kind of D&D parties you go to. Not for me. Mine's generally mine's been a pretty good mix of interesting people, which is why I enjoy it. Yeah, Jackson, definitely that'd be absolutely awesome, mate. I'd love to do that for you. That's my new obligation as well. I've written a big business plan for all my content that I'm doing, and a part of that is to basically like building a community, and I'd like to do that. Oh, sick, Judy! Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Yeah, hopefully he'll say hi at some point or other. But yeah, basically my goal for my YouTube channel and my content generally is to inspire people that are into history and fantasy, and to hopefully play some D&D games together. So that's the goal. So I'll have to see where we go. But yes, thank you so much, guys. I mean, I've got so many. Is your Discord server in your channel description? I will sort that out now. 1 second. Linktree. Sorry. I'm literally going to fix this right now. Because you're right, it isn't in it at the moment. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna disappear sooner or later, I think. I've been on live for like an hour, so generally I here we go. Discord is on there. It's should be second from the top. If you go onto my link tree, Discord should be the second one there. Let me have a look on YouTube, see if it is actually there. What am I doing here? There we go. It should be, oh sorry, yeah, Dill, it should be, if you go onto my channel, there is a green link tree link. Yeah, there you go, mate. Legend. But yes, hopefully I'll see you, yeah, and we'll organise a D&D session together sooner or later. It was nice hearing your thoughts. I'm going to also dip. That's absolutely fine. I've got like 3 people on the live now, and it's been over an hour, so generally I just do an hour on here. But thank you, everybody, so much for this live. It's been really, really productive. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, a lovely rest of your week, and I plan on doing this a lot more often, so hopefully I will see you around.